Hey there, I am super excited to do this analysis of Michelle and Barack Obama's big talks that they recently gave at the Democratic National Convention. Super excited about this. Let's start with Michelle Obama. She, first of all, is one of the best, if not the best, speakers in the world. And the reason why is that she is extremely confident in who she is, and she is completely aligned with her values. And I'm going to come back to that several times in this analysis. What she believes in about right and wrong and what it means to be of service is simply at the core for everything she stands. It is at the core of how she behaves, how she shows up. So, as a speaker, it's really important that you are aligned with your values. And we've talked about this: purpose, mission, values. That is what you want to lead with when it comes to being a masterful speaker. The other thing that makes her so incredible and powerful is that she is not afraid to be criticized or unliked. And you've heard me say this as well. When you put yourself out there, you're going to get unnecessary feedback. You're going to get people criticizing you. And especially in this online world where everybody's sitting behind a computer. But it's really important that when you're aligned with your values and you take a big stage, you are super clear that it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks because you are aligned with your values in how you're showing up in service. She also speaks her truth. She is really powerful when it comes to knowing who she is. So I really encourage all of you, know who you are, sit with that, align with your values, and then speak. Speak out. Your voice is important. We need to hear from you. Your voice matters. Now, specifically to this talk, before Michelle Obama even started, she received the applause with humility and gratitude. That is such an important quality to have as a speaker: humility and gratitude and grace. When she introduced the contagious power of love, she had an earnest knowing and a delivery that was simply fact. Yes, this is what is going on right now. I know it, you know it, and we all know it. We can do this, but we have to be vigilant. That was the underlying context to how she spoke. And that's really, really important. I'm going to say that again. This was the underlying context with how she shared the information about what's going on. Yes, this is what's going on right now. You know it. I know it. We all know it. We can do this, but we have to be vigilant. She also championed her idea of hope is making a comeback. And this wasn't boasting, but it was sharing. And she believes it and inspires us to believe it too. And that is the power of leadership from a big stage, from speaking from a masterful, aligned place, is that you can inspire us to think the way you do and to adopt that thinking as your own to create change. She also shared vulnerably of grieving of this hope and the loss recently of her mother. And when you speak vulnerably, it connects us to you as an audience, as a speaker. She also talked about her mother being a moral compass and showing her the power of her own voice. This is the inspiration of generations and legacy that we need to be reminded of in this moment of time, and the importance to honor our elders. She spoke of values, and this connects us to our hearts and our spirits. And she shared her story, which is also my story. It is your story. It is our story, connecting us once again. She spoke of acceptance and being valued. This speaks to our soul as an audience, not playing into our fear. She did not back down when calling out her opposing views on Trump and his fear-based leadership, small thinking, and egoic-driven behavior. She did not back down. She was strong and powerful and stood in her truth. And she also said, no one has a monopoly on what it means to be American. No one. Now, when you think about script analysis, that is a very powerful statement. So thinking about your performance and also thinking about what you say and how you say it is really important as an influential voice. She also, this is really important, she never confuses passion with anger. And that does not mean she plays nice. To be clear, everyone, nice and kind, those are two different things. She always uses her language, and using her language goes high. She always goes high. And she inspires instead of berates. If we see a mountain in front of us, we don't expect there to be an escalator waiting to take us to the top. This is inspiring us with a little cheeky context that we all know. She also said it's the same old con, doubling down on ugly, misogynistic, and racist lies as a substitute for solutions that will actually make people's lives better. Again, when you are speaking from a big stage, get real clear on how you're speaking, but also what you're saying, because you have the opportunity to change history when you speak in this way. And her call to action is really strong. Do something. So simple. Do something. And that's because of the urgency of the 76 days we have left to get everybody to vote for what's right in this country. Let's talk about Barack Obama. He is confident enough to highlight his wife, Michelle, by how he embraces her, how he honors her, and how he even spoke about how difficult it is to actually follow this masterful speaker. I love that. He kicks off his talk with humor, and that's specifically because he knew that Michelle left the audience with a lot to think about. So he broke that tension by bringing in humor right away. And it's really good flow as an art form of theater when it comes to stages and speaking. He also honors Joe Biden as his vice president, which shows, again, respect, humility, and love. He speaks to Joe Biden's empathy and decency and hard work, and again, goes back to values. And when you speak about values from a big stage, we can connect to you as a human being. This gives us soul and hope and is more dimensional and heart-centered as a leader. This is a great example of leadership consciousness, knowing that the words he's saying can influence an audience, and that's a huge responsibility. It's a huge responsibility. You are influencing on an audience when you speak. Then he went there with silly and effective humor, the weird obsession with crowd size, this kind of cheeky communication, followed by sharing that Trump's behavior is dangerous. It's a beautiful flip to get the point across powerfully and instantly. Barack Obama delivers with passion, and he gets heated without getting emotional, allowing the seriousness of what he wants us to know so that we are clear, empowered by his words, and ready to take action. Do not boo, vote. These are two extraordinary speakers, and I hope that my analysis of these two big talks can inspire you to take action, to speak, to vote, and to use your influential voice for good. Big love, everybody. Mwah.